everyone, welcome to Zylostar, new weekly market update with us, Mr. Amidian and Mr. Salman.
A short while after the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, we get another ceasefire in the region in Syria. After a long-awaited victory, the president on paper leaves Syria going to Moscow asking for political protection. However, Israel takes advantage of the current situations and invading some Syrian lands. This puts a question mark about the geopolitical situations. Is it escalating or are we finally going towards peace?
Most relevant economic indicator related to employment sector, NFP published higher than predicts, but from the other side, we got the unemployment rate, it was a little bit higher than forecast.
Alright, so let's kick right into it. Starting off with the dollar index as usual. So we can clearly see that the DXY has broken below the trend line of this ascending channel to the downside. Now from here it found a strong support at the level of 105.5 and it's reflecting up from here, touching that trend line again. So technically this looks a little bit bearish. However, fundamentally we still have a lot of good reasons for the dollar to be strong because of Donald Trump's presidency. Right, so from here we might see a retracement to 105.8, 38.50 and then a continuation to the upside. This is what the high probability is. Now, however, entry here is a little bit tricky. So we go to NASDAQ. As anticipated, NASDAQ has broken above the resistance of the ascending triangle and it has moved up. Right, from here we might see a retracement to the trend line. It might take a little bit of an upward movement before retracing to the trend line and then continuing its upward momentum. Now, going to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, as I have spoken in a previous video, it has retraced the level of 92,000 and from here it went back up, creating for us this symmetrical triangle. Right, just symmetrical triangle. Of course, keep in mind that this was a liquidation when it went to the support, finding a strong demand on it by the level of 92,000 and still looking pretty bullish, right? Because yes, it was a breakdown, but it was a fake breakdown or a liquidity grab by the trend line and still in this ascending channel. And from here we have this symmetrical triangle at a decent support where the price is currently laying. Right, hovering around the level of 100,000. So from here, we might see a continuation to the uptrend or another attempt to grab, to test the level of 92,000, 93,000 once more. Now, is there bullish? We are looking for a good entry for that. So this will be it about these three assets for this week.
So guys, let's jump to the gold and the Euro USD analysis from Zylostar strategy. So our putting here that the gold is near to lower channel line, which is here because we are in up channel, and we said that it may retrace to our channel. So what we are expecting, gold is hovering near to this price, which is our lower channel line, 2,581, and it may jump from here to continue his trend up. This is regarding the gold. Let's jump now to the Euro USD. Euro USD is, let's say, it's trying to reverse downtrend momentum, and we can see here, as we expect, he break the lower trend line, which is the small trend line, and go into the major trend line from here. So he's trying to reverse from a downtrend momentum, which is very good for us to expect that gold may come to our major trend line, which is 1.06373. This is our outlook also for the Euro USD, up channel in the gold and down trend in the Euro USD, and it may retrace from this downtrend to the downside again. And if he break the trend line, that moment we can wait a retracement going to the upside to new highs in the Euro USD. Okay guys, see you next session.
Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. This is Masoud Amidian. I'm a senior fundamental analyst at Zylostar head office in Dubai. Let's talk about the most crucial aspect of financial markets, which is fundamental. I want to kick it with a brief review of last week in financial markets. Last week, we got different economic indicators about employment sector in the United States. As you know, first and foremost, let's have a look at the JOLTS, or better to say, job opening numbers. Although it published higher than forecast from the previous period, we faced a revision from 7.44 million to 7.37 million. It's not gonna stop here, and quits also jumped higher. In October, the number of quits increased to 3.3 million, or better to say 228,000 developed, but it was down by 308,000 over the year. Over the months, the quit rate increased to 2.1%. About the ADP, which is the best indicator for private sector employment, we got it under the estimates, and also the previous number, or basically the previous period, revised down from 233 to 184, as you can see here. And here's a comment from Nella Richardson, chief economist at ADP, and she mentioned that while overall growth for the month was healthy, industry performance was mixed. And also she stated that manufacturing was the weakest we have ever seen since spring. So about the most favored employment indicator of the Federal Reserve, which means NFP, it released on Friday. Although the unemployment rate published higher than expectations, the non-farm employment change published a little bit higher than forecast, and also about the previous period, which got affected by the hurricane storm last month, it revised up to 36,000 from 12,000. The most important part of the NFP was the unemployment rate. It released, as I said, higher than predicted, or basically higher than predictions, but it is still historically low and equal to the July rate, which was 4.2%. The quarterly moving average of private sector employment growth reached 138,000 jobs in November, the highest level since May. After that, several members of FOMC like Bowen and Goldsby, they pointed out to the strength of the labor market, but from the other side, which is inflation, is still high. Also, we had the speech of Jerome Powell, chairman of Federal Reserve, and he restated that he will stay in his position as the head of the Federal Reserve. From the geopolitical side, although we had ceasefire in Lebanon, Syria had a shocking revolution, and news are illustrating that Bashar al-Assad and his family have been granted asylum in Russia. So the Middle East was not stable before, and now tensions are gonna accelerate even more. So let's jump into the upcoming week. This week will be a little bit crowded from the central banks and also economic indicators side. So let's have a look at it. On Tuesday, which is 10th of December, we are going to have the cash rate and Reserve Bank of Australia rate statement for Australian dollar at 7:30 a.m. to Dubai time. As I mentioned, our head office is located in Dubai. And later on Wednesday, we are going to have the CPI number, which is from the United States at 5:30 p.m. and that is going to be, I think, the most crucial economic indicator for the United States next week. And about the Bank of Canada, we are going to have the Bank of Canada rate statement and also overnight rate and press conference of the chairman of the Bank of Canada later at 7:30 p.m. On Thursday, which is 12th of December, we are going to have employment change and unemployment rate from the Australian dollar. Later at 12:30 p.m. we are going to have SNB monetary policy assessment, or better to say the Central Bank of Switzerland. We are going to have the meeting and let's see what they are going to decide for the interest rate. And later we are going to have the main refinancing rate and monetary policy statement for the European area by European Central Bank at 5:15 p.m. And finally, we are going to have the PPI and unemployment claims, or better to say initial jobless claims, at 5:30 p.m. on 12th. And later we are going to have the ECB press conference by the chairman of the ECB, who is Christian Lagarde. And eventually on Friday we are going to have the GDP number, monthly biases for the Great British Pound. Do not forget, if you want to increase your success, always mix fundamental and technical together. The result would be amazing.
Thank you guys for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe, put likes and comments and share it with your friends.